now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Yasharal. Shabbat shalom.
Khan, Shabbat Shalom, Israel. What's going on right there? All right, for a second,
All right. So you know how we do it. We're gonna give everybody a few more seconds to get on, and as we do that, we'll go through and welcome everyone. All right, Brother Adam Jr. Shabbat Shalom. All right. We have Nakan Binyah. Shabbat Shalom. All right. There's some more of our brothers here. We have Brother Michael on here. All right. Shabbat Shalom. All right. Got a really good topic tonight. So in investigating the validity of Deborah, the book of Judges. Now, you may be wondering what's going on here. So Israel, we're going to give it to you in a nutshell. So basically what we're going to do is just give you some scriptures, and we're going to show you some things that's going to make you kind of scratch your head and make you go, Now, we're not here adding to the scriptures or taking away from the scriptures. Basically going to show you some things that me and Brother Eitan was doing some studies on and just happened to come across. All right. And we called it investigating the validity of Deborah for a reason. Because, we're as we go through, there are going to be some things that don't quite add up. And we know that when our scriptures was translated, we know that there's a lot of stuff that kind of got mixed in, misplaced. I'll give an example. All right. We know that the word Jesus is not even close to being a translation of Hebrew in the New Testament. And, and that's evidence, facts that stuff was added 500 years later. All right, because there still is no, and back then were no J or U in the Paleo Hebrew. All right. So again, we know that when the heathens got a hold to our scripts, a lot of stuff kind of got dissected, added, all that kind of stuff, kind of mixed up and everything. Not enough though, where it makes the word null and void. All right. I want to make sure we make that clear, Israel, because the Most High is all powerful and he still knows how to preserve his word. But, the Most High already laid the punishment for our enemies. And this is woe unto them that added or take away unto this word. And there's been a lot of stuff that's been added and that has been taken away already. All right. Especially during the early 15th and 16th century. So, we're gonna just, like I said, we're gonna just go through scriptures and just kind of give you a layout, maybe record of the board, because like I said, there's really there's some things that don't add up when dealing with Deborah versus the other judges. So, and I'm going to show you some interesting things. I'm going to show you how Barak, and is that how you pronounce his name, Barak, and Lipidat, the supposed husband of Deborah, actually means the same thing, which we found very interesting. And when we show you in the book of Romans 11, where it mentions Barak, it mentions the other judges, but one name it does not mention was Deborah. And the Most High, if the Most High is not a respecter of person, then I'm sure that name would have been mentioned. So Israel, again, this is just to give you the layout. You all can make that judgment. You all can test the spirit for yourself, but we're going to just give it to you straight from the scriptures. All right. And with that being said, Brother Eitan, go ahead and lead us out.
Okay, Khan. All right. Shalom. I guess we're going to start getting your Bibles. Let's go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. Let me pull this on the screen. Let me see here. Entire screen. Kaboom. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, Israel, while he's pulling it up, too. So just a reminder, this is a double Shabbat. So we have the new moon as well as the Shabbat. And we know that the Shabbat takes precedence oversoul, no working, no cooking on the Shabbat. So, and then tomorrow at sunset, we'll begin the first day of the, is it the 8th month? Yeah, it's the first day of the 8th month, which
Con.
is to be the feast of the blowing memorial of trumpets.
First day of the 7th month.
7th month.
Con.
Yep.
First day of the 7th month. Blowing of the trumpets. Got that Sunday. Sundown tomorrow, actually, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, sundown tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
get it.
we'll do a we'll do like a fellowship tomorrow. We want to get kind of the brothers, since well, we are held as the priest, so just kind of get that in your head. We're gonna have some of your brothers come on and everything, so we kind of just fellowship, maybe talk about some some leadership techniques and things that we can do. Hey, how can we make what can we do to make the brotherhood? When I say brotherhood, I'm talking about all the brothers who are in the faith. A lot of you all who are out there tuning in every week. What are some things that, hey, we can do in the near future? All right, that's going to help the brotherhood and everything. Help us be able to hold one another accountable. That's what it's all about, Israel. That's what it's all about as we go through this journey and have to deal with all these trials and tribulations. All right, brother.
All right, Con. All right. So the reason why I wanted to start here at Malachi chapter 3, verse 6 is because I want to understand that the Most High doesn't change, like no matter what. Like the laws are the same, right, from the beginning. And so, like, this is just like a study group with us, right? Israel, this is just more like a study group. So we'll be paying attention to the comment section. So if you guys want to, add your, say if you got something to say or you got something you want to add to the study group, you can do that. Also, let me go ahead and put the link in the description. Salaki, let me put the link in the comment board. All right. So if one of your brothers want to come on, and you want to and you have some stuff that you want to add to the study, then come on. All right. Con up. All right. Now it says, for I am the Lord God, right? I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed, right? So Yahweh does not change in any aspect, pretty much, right? His main mission has been for us, has been salvation, right? And he has the roles that we are to play, right, for for the remainder of our time. Let's say, for example, right, we know that this says the man is the house. It said the man is the head of the household, right? We know that the men are the priests, right? We know that the women they take care of so they're usually caretakers in the scriptures. They're usually play real good, help meet, whereas they help leadership real well in the scriptures, right? There's never a situation that we've seen in the scriptures other than, right, Deborah seems to be a outlier, right? Something strange in the scriptures that that just doesn't really sit right, compared to the rest of the scriptures and how it's written, right? Because as we see, like, we have never seen anywhere in the scripture where a sister has been able to lead the nation of Israel, right? Much less judge the nation of Israel. Because if we want to remember, right, when Miriam and Aaron had tried to pass judgment upon Moses, right? Miriam was the one that was struck down for it, and Moses wasn't struck down, right? Now, please don't take this the wrong way. It is what it is. It's the scriptures, but in the scriptures it says that women are possession, right? Which means that they are a possession, right? That's just what it is, right? It's they were bought with money, shekels, right? So they were a literal possession, something that belonged to the husband at a particular time. Now that doesn't mean that we could just do whatever the hell we wanted to, because there was also a situation that if you weren't getting treated right or whatever, you would get beat or whatever the case may be. You could leave, right? You could leave, but you couldn't marry another man or whatever whatever the case may be, right? But it wasn't like you were under any kind of prison rule or nothing like that, right?
Right. The laws that we had Israel were to help us to be a righteous people and to do right by one another. So that means even our wives were to be were to be treated fairly in a manner where it was righteous. All right. So that's the thing. You're not gonna when you go to the scriptures, you're not gonna see where Israel was just doing anything they wanted to do. This, I mean, when I say anything, I'm talking about just constantly beating the women just because they felt like it. No, it was never nothing like that. Our women were protected. Our women were protected. They were preserved as virgins, prepared for whoever they were going to marry in the future. And that's the setup that we had, Israel. It was a perfect setup. You know, our sisters were like the delicate flowers that was protected. So think of a big circle. We have a circle of men, and then you look at the women and children who are in the middle of that circle that are being protected. That is the kind of setup that we had as a people. All right.
Mm,
And when you look at the book of Judges, now, did that come before the law or after the law? When was the law established? It was established in the wilderness, right? In the book
con,
of Exodus, it was already established. So, with that being said, Israel, the Most High, always used men of war. You're not going to find one scripture. You're not going to find one verse in the scriptures where the woman, where the Most High used a woman to take up the sword and battle with the men. Now you'll see that stuff with Hamites. Hamites, they do that kind of stuff. They use women warriors and what have you. But Israel, you would never see that in the Torah where a woman was called to battle. All right. Even in Numbers, when they did the pedigrees of their fathers, you know, it was men of the age of was either 20 or 21 that was able to go to war unless they were in their first year of marriage, because if they had just gotten married, then they would have that year off to get to know their wives and everything. So I'm bringing all this up just in correlation to what Brother Aton read earlier about the Most High never changing, because he never changes. It's man that changes Israel. So again, we have to come to the reality that it's a possibility there could have been some translations, some errors, which we know for a fact that there were translation errors throughout the scriptures. Because again, when we went into captivity, and then our last one, when Roman, when the popes and all that kind of stuff got a hold to our stuff, a lot of stuff got dissected, a lot of stuff got twisted, a lot of stuff got added, and what have you. So, I mean, that's just what it is.
con.
All right, brother.
The precept of that is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8, where it says, Yahushua HaMashiach the same yesterday and today and forever, right? And we know that, to the Most High and HaMashiach and the heavenly beings, that, 1 year or 1 day is 1,000 years, right? So, it's no telling. It just pretty much means that that's forever, right? In the beginning, when the Most High had created Adam, he was set to be the ruler over the earth, right? He even had rulership over his woman, right? And that's straight up in Genesis, right? He was, he was he was a rule over her, I mean, that's just what it says. So, like, when we look at these situations, right, and then we look at the way that the scriptures are written, and we see that the precepts have been laid in the foundation of the Torah, that when we come upon something, it's just weird, like an anomaly in the scriptures, such as Deborah, we have to investigate it, right? We have to investigate it. Now in Revelations, it also says that, woe to that man that puts anything, that writes or takes away something or adds to the book, right? It doesn't say that, that has not happened, right? The Most High, he leaves us with the spirit of discernment, right? For us to be able to go precept upon precept, right? Line upon line, here, there a little, and there a little, right? For us to be able to determine whether or not we are reading the truth of the scriptures. You wanted to say
And
something, Mark?
also, the scripture says in 1 John 4:1, it says, test the spirits. And also, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses is my word established. So again, you have to, anytime that that's why, like, certain books, things like that, like people may bring up the book of Adam and Eve. even though there might be some truth, but if it's not precept, what's already written and can be backed up with 2 or 3 more witnesses, then technically it's really invalid because you don't have an argument. You can't prove anything. And
God,
that's kind of the way it is with Deborah because who was the father? Who was where's her history? Where's her line? You see what I'm saying? And there's just a lot of stuff. There's very little known about Deborah. You're going to see as we go through, and you're going to see how it starts to make sense. Okay, what's really going on here?
God. All right. Now, one thing that Brother Daniel and I, because we did a study on this, like Brother Daniel was saying earlier, right? Just one day was just like, man, it's just weird. It's not that we're trying to take anything away from women or anything like that, or raw. It's just a weird situation. Like why would the Most High put a woman over the nation? It doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, like it says, right, the scriptures just here, there, here a little, there a little. Precept upon precept. If I were to read about Deborah here in Judges chapter 4 or whatnot, right, and a little bit about her, I think she transfers over a little bit about it in chapter 5 as well, right? I should be able to see something mentioned about her family line, her lineage, something, right, in the rest of the scriptures, right? Somewhere it should be some type of precept, right? Like every other, right, like every single other judge that is in the scriptures. Right now, just to add on what Brother Daniel was talking about, right? What Brother Daniel was saying. Matter of fact, let's just let me go to Judges chapter 2 first.
And we're going to show you everything, and we're gonna go to the scriptures and show you some things. All right. We know that there's going to probably be some sisters that's going to get upset. Oh, you guys just trying to discount all that stuff. But we're gonna let we're gonna let you do your own research and study, and you're gonna see exactly what we're talking about.
Now, as we had did our study and we found in the scriptures, right, we're like Brother Daniel was saying, right, there's no history of Deborah, right? There's absolutely no history, no lineage of where her husband, where she came from, right? Who her father is, what her lineage is, or anything like that. She just popped up out of nowhere, right? In Judges chapter 4, saying that she ruled Israel at that time, right? Now, if we were to do a chronological order, we'd also see that during that time, Abimelech was ruling, right? Abimelech was ruling at the time, and then his son went on to be the next judge, which was Gideon, right? So we're going to start in verse 2 because we need some, Salaki, we're going to start in chapter 2 because we need some prerequisites of how the Lord was using the judges in Israel, right? So we're going to start with verse 16, right? It says, nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. Now, in this context, in the beginning of the book of Judges, right, in the scriptures, it's talking about all the judges in compass, like all of them, but this is just giving like a preface of all of them together. It's just talking about all of them, not what has happened yet, but it's just telling you that, God, he put the judges there, Samson, and so forth and so on, right? So it says, nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges. But they went a whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them, and turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord. But they did not so. Now, the reason why, right, as we're going to read, and we're going to go and we're going to briefly glance at all the judges, right, we're going to see how Israel, they continued to go into wickedness afterwards, right? So after every judge passed through, right? After they died, since something wicked happened. But we always going to see an account of how long they ruled Israel and that they died, right? All for the exception of Deborah. However, like Brother Daniel was saying earlier, we're going to go to Romans 11, Romans 11 and bring out
Hebrews 11.
that, Salaka, Hebrews 11, that that Barak was brought out, right? Later on, even though in the book it says, even though in Judges we're going to get to reading where it says that the Most High was going to make it so that a woman would be known for taking over Caesarea at that particular time, which was going on in that particular time, where it says that she was supposed to be ruling, I believe that Barak was the judge and not Deborah. I think they some kind of way I don't know, maybe some kind of mistranslation, or they tried to add that in there, or I don't know, y'all. So
you'll see it more as we continue. I know it's kind of hard to see now, but you'll see it more as we go through, and then we show you some things that we studied.
Con. Oh, also, right, if you have any questions or you have any input, please make sure to put that in, because we're not 100% sure. They're like this isn't we're absolutely 1000% sure. This is just something that we want to share with you guys to see if anyone else also has been studying, or they have any input, I'm saying, some kind of helpful input, or maybe they see something that's a weird looking translation that might help us come to the bottom of this situation, right? Because
if some of you've come to the same conclusion where you looked at that and researched and you wanted to validate that as well too. So we welcome it all.
Con. All right, it says, verse 18, and when the Lord raised them up judges, right, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass when the judge was dead, when the judge was dead, and that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers, in following other gods to serve them and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people has transgressed my covenant, which I have commanded their fathers, I have not hearkened unto my voice, and have not hearkened unto my voice. I will also henceforth drive out. I will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died. That through them I may prove Israel whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it, or not. Now, this is a little bit this is a little bit off topic, but I want y'all to see something here. It says, therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered them into the hand of Joshua. What does that mean, right? That means that the Lord was protecting the heathen to teach Israel a lesson. Right? That's scary right there to think about, right? That the Lord will, as we see, we getting out, it just goes to show how, us being in captivity and us going through the things that we're going through is part of the Most High's plan. Man, sometimes, man, he'll let the heathen get away just so he can whoop your ass later on.
And this is not the first time this has happened. Deuteronomy said he would use the heathens to make us jealous in these days.
All right. So I just wanted to bring out that because I wanted to show you that the Most High, he would bring up these judges, right? And then after they died, right, Israel, they would return back to wickedness, and then the Most High, he would bring up another judge, right? That was the way that it went down. Ak, you wanted to say anything before I move on?
Oh, go ahead, bro. Let me know if you need me to read some of that stuff too. So,
all right, con. All right, let's go, right, because I want to, I want to establish a pattern, right? I do want to establish a pattern. Saying there are other, but first I'm gonna start with we're just gonna go one chapter over, right? We're gonna go talking about O, right? We'll talk about our boy O. Right. All right. It says, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war, and the Lord delivered the Cushan-Rathanaim king of Mesopotamia into his hand, and his hand prevailed against that word again, and the land had rest 40 years, and Big O, the son of Kenaz, died. Right. Now, this was this is one of the judges, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this guy was the first judge. Then there was Ehud and Sham, and then I think it got to the Barak and Deborah and them, right? So this guy, he's the first, he's the first judge, right? Now, as we go through, let's look up Ehud, right? Let's just look up Ehud because I can't remember off the top of my head which I think he's got to be the next one, right? Ehud. Let's look up Ehud. Ehud. What is Ehud? Right. He'll be the next judge if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, boom, right. Let's see when he died. So it's going to say that he ruled for a certain time, right? It said,
right. It's Ehud. Yep.
yeah, Ehud. Okay, Khan. He's going to return inside of the Lord was dead, and the children did evil inside the Lord when Ehud was dead. All right, let me go to Georgia. Let me go to. Let me see. All right. Just out of curiosity, after Shemagar was son, they slew the Philistines 600 men. Yeah, because Shemagar, yeah, he was the next.
Yep.
He ended up being the next one, right? Ehud, right, he carried passed away the currents of escape past. He was going to trip Israel down. Slovakia. All right. Let's go to the next one. Oops. Yeah.
Then Deborah would be the next one.
Yeah. What's going on with this? There we go. All right. And children of Israel and the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of king, they required the Lord 900 carried chariots. I wonder how old. Wait, hold up for a second. I need to see how long. Ehud. How long did he rule? If anybody does anybody know in the comment section, I'll need to put it up there so I can see that. He came and he was sitting against the summer to deliver. The son of this man, he judged Israel.
I think I got the answer to that.
All right, Khan. All right. Slucky, Israel. Some of the stuff, we build it while we fly, baby. We build it while we fly. All right. The children of Israel did again. Even the son Ehud was dead. It's got to be somewhere over here in chapter 3 somewhere. Let me just go to chapter 3. Left hand, boom. I remember that. The left hand of the dagger killed that dude.
It's go to Judges. No, that's Gideon. Go to. I don't think it has a. I know. Shamgar is really unknown.
Shamgar is unknown,
right? And Barak 40 years. Gideon 40 years.
Okay. All right. Moab. The children said England, the scene of Moab.
And the thing is, Israel too, like when you normally look at the Book of Chronicles, is like a historical record of our people, and no one of these are really mentioned. It gives a detail.
All right. But we do know that he came in, just like the beginning when we had read earlier, right? In Judges 2 on, he still fits the prerequisite of how the Most High was saying that he's going to bring, he's going to bring someone in whenever we got oppressed. And at this particular time, we're being oppressed by Moab. So this the dude that stabbed the hell out of that Moab king, right? And buried the doggone blade so far up in him that his fat rolls, overcame the blade. He couldn't get it out, ended up dying. Oh, yeah, that's right, man. He stabbed him and said, hey, man, the Most High sent this message. Ain't this the guy? Yeah.
Got a message from Yahweh.
Hold up, man. I do want to. Oh, yeah. See, hey, man, Most High is awesome. I do want to read this real quick. Right. All right. So it says, and it, let's start. Said the way the people bear the president, but he himself turned again. The queries of Barak said, I have. Okay, word. All right, we'll start 19. I'll give this little right there. All right. It says, but he himself turned again from the queries. He himself turned again from the queries that were by Gilgal and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. Well, I have a message from Yahweh unto thee. And he arose out of his seat, and Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. The haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him, and then locked them. Okay, so he wasn't really. I don't think he was like. I wonder why they got him labeled as a judge. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't really. Well, did he really officially judge Israel like that? Let me see something. Let me go back up here. All right. All right. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon, Salakia, and he judged Israel and went out to war. Oh, no, and judged Israel. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war. All right. The children of Israel cried unto the Lord, and the Lord raised up a deliverer. Okay. And who delivered them, even Othniel, right? The son of Kenah, Caleb's longer brother. Right. See, right. All these stuff has like all of them, right? They have families, right? You know, so we know where Othniel comes from. We got Caleb's younger brother, right? We have all his family right here, right? Which is kind of right. 8 years, not 80, 8 years, right? Anger before the Lord is, and the children of the Lord served Christian in the 8 years, right? Because then he rose up and killed that dude. All right. Salakia Israel. All right, I just wanted to, like as I'm going through this, normally I would have just skipped by this, but I don't want to feel like I'm skipping over anything major so people think, oh man, he's trying to dilute the word of the Lord and trying to trick us. No, I just want to make sure I'm just going over everything, right? So the land had rest for 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenah, he died, right? All right. So after that, where do we go? Right? Where do we go after that? It immediately jumps into we immediately jump into Judges chapter 4, right after 3, right? And it says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead, and the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, and reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for we had 900 chariots of iron. In 20 years, he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, right, Israel's favorite sister, a prophetess, right, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time, right? It's just kind of weird to me because as we read on, like we're gonna see like she has no family. Like where the hell did she come from?
Where's her family line at and everything?
Yeah. Where's her family line? Because we're gonna read the rest of them, just
Yeah.
like we saw so far. All the rest of the brothers, all those other, we see their family lines, right? So we're establishing right a basis as we see for the rest of them, right? We see a family line, we see their fathers, right? We see who they come from. We have no idea who Deborah comes from.
All other ones.
Come on. And it says, and she dwelt under the palm of the Deborah between Ramah and Bethel, right? Mount Ephraim and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. Okay, all right. So now if we go on this chronologically, I don't understand how the children of Israel was coming up to her for judgment during this particular time because Abimelech was ruling. Right, over the children of Israel at this particular time, right? And then he had a son, which was Gideon, and Gideon, he became a judge as well, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and how was Barak? Salakia, like how was Abimelech in rulership at the same time that Deborah is supposed to be ruling? I don't know. It just feels weird, right? Yeah. I don't know, right?
Hey, but before we go any further, let's look at the names. So look at that.
John, break that off.
The the husband of Deborah, and then Barak's name. So let me pull this up right quick, and then we'll cover the other ones too. Because I find it very interesting that when you look at the name of, and you all can look this up too, Israel, and look up some other sources. But if you look up the name Barak and Libethon, they almost have pretty much have the same meaning. All right. Can you see the screen?
Gone.
All right. So here we have Barak. All right. Barak, lightning, is a masculine name of Hebrew origin. It appears in the biblical book of Judges as the name of the Israelite general Barak, who alongside Deborah led an attack against the forces of King Jabin of Hazar. All right. So it's when you look at the name of Barak, it means lightning. All right. And then when you go to the name of Lipitat, it means lamps or enlightened or lamps. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, I'm gonna pull this up. I want to pull something up right quick. Something I pulled offline because there are some critics who says one tradition presents Barak as Deborah's husband, who is also called Lipidat. So there's some things that doesn't make sense, and when we did the study, we found it very interesting that Lipidat and Barak almost means the same meaning. So what does that tell us? Does that mean that maybe somewhere in the line of translations? Now, this is what I believe. And then again, this is what I believe because when we bring out Hebrews chapter 11, you're going to see. But I don't know what it is, but I truly believe that when the translators translated everything, I don't know where they got Deborah from. I don't know how they came up with the name. Because again, there's no consistency with Deborah. There's nowhere else mentioning her outside the book of Judges. You see what I'm saying?
Con.
And but Barak is mentioned in Hebrews chapter 11. Could it be possible that Barak was the true judge and not Deborah? Because, however, again, when you look at the translations and how things were translated over from the Hebrew to the Greek, to the Greek, and then from the Greek to the English, there's some things that just does not add up. All right. So again, there's no consistency with Deborah, and you all can really hammer this down and look at this yourself. Why is it that Barak is mentioned? Why is it that Gideon and all the rest of them are mentioned, but not Deborah? All right. And even like Brother Aton was saying, where's the family line? All right. The Most High, if the Most High says in this word that he is not a respecter of person. So if this was truly someone who was supposed to judge Israel, Deborah, then where is the consistency? See, the Most High does not contradict himself. The Most High does not lie in his word. His word is constantly fluent throughout. All right. It is man that alters and changes things. So, but that's what I wanted to show. Unless you have something to add to that, brother.
No, con, not man. That's no. I have nothing to add right now. You know, so that's
Yeah.
con.
So I just wanted to bring that out before we hit the other judges, so you can kind of see the consistency with theirs and everything. And then Hebrews 11 is really going to be the icing on the cake, because if anybody wants to make a valid argument, again, Scripture says where there's two, or three, in the mouth of two or three witnesses is my word established. If someone's going to make a valid argument to say that, hey, yeah, Deborah was a true judge, then you're going to have to show some proof of a family line. Who was she ordained by? It doesn't even say that in the scriptures. It just jumps in and she's all of a sudden ruling. You see what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong, brother.
Con.
It's just like, okay, well, where did it come from? But all the other ones you see, how they came up and how they ruled and some family ties to it and everything. So all I'm saying, Israel, test the spirits.
Judges chapter 4. All right. All right, let me put me. All right, con. All right, Israel. Let's go to Judges chapter 4, verse 10. Right, we're gonna start at verse 10 for a second. Right, we're gonna go to Hebrews 2, because this is what I was sort of talking about. All right. Oh, that's 10, 11, 12, 8, 9. All right, boom. Now, all right. All right, this will be all right. Okay, and it says, let me stop right here at 14. Make sure I'm reading all the way up to where I need to go at. Okay, con, right? Let me get this too. Get all that. All right, Israel. Here we go. And it says, and Barak said unto her, right, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. Now, I'm not saying that there's something, this true, this particular history account is just a mistranslation somewhere in here, and we're just trying to figure out where it's at exactly, right? Because there is some kind of mistranslation here. I don't know where it is, but it's here somewhere, right? We need to figure out like where it is so we can get the wording right. Anyways, it says, and Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, and then I will go. And I was speaking as all of chapter 4 and parts of chapter 5. I wasn't speaking as this particular part that I'm reading right now, but I find this part interesting. It says, and Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. Right. So Barak is telling Deborah here, right? Hey, if you go with me, then I'll go to war. But if you ain't gonna go with me, then I'm not going to war. Right. Which seems kind of cowardly on the low. Like, why would you try to bring a woman to war? I don't understand that part. Yeah. It says, and she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. Right. So she's saying that the journey that they're taking will not be for Barak's honor. Right. For the Lord shall sell Caesarea into the hand of a woman. Right. Talking about herself. Right. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. Right. Saying that the glory of this war, the honors of this war is going to be hers. Right. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali and Kadesh. To Kadesh. And he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went up with him. And Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself from the Kenites and pitched his tent in the plain of Zayaim, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Caesarea that Barak, the son of Abinoam, was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Caesarea gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Hosherath, of the Gentiles unto the river of Kishon. All right, let me read this up. Right, unto the river of Kishon. And Deborah said unto Barak, up, for this day in which the Lord has delivered Sisera into thine hand, is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from the Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring that out, because that's a clear contradiction from what is said in the beginning of the scriptures, right? In the beginning of this verse, because this is one of the things that I think that is a that was partly mistranslated, is that in the very beginning, because it says that and she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou shalt take. It's verse 9, right? Shall not be for thine honor, right? So it's saying that right there, that she's telling them that the Lord, that this particular battle is not going to be for your honor, Barak, right? It's not going to be for his honor, right? For the Lord shall sell Caesarea into the hand of a woman. So it's saying that it's going to be for the woman that this is going to happen. Now, after they done did all this stuff and harassed them boys and all these chariots and stuff, it says, and Deborah said unto Barak, up, for this day in which the Lord had delivered Caesarea into thy hand, is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. Now, let me switch something, right? If this was delivered into the hand of a woman, right? Because I do remember. No, I'm sorry. That was let me see. What was that? We were Hebrews 11.
Yes.
30, 32, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 31, 32. 32, right? Yeah. This is, this is more to the mystery, right? And it says, and what shall I say? Hey, Ak, you want to read this or no?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Khan.
It says, so we're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and it says, and what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of
who's the
Barak,
judge?
Yep, Barak, and of Samson,
who was the judge?
And of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets. Now, where is Deborah in this? Somebody's going to have to explain that. All right. There has to be, again, Israel, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses is my word established. There has to be consistency throughout the scriptures.
Now, one thing I wanted to also bring out, right? It says in verse 33, right? It says, "Who through faith subdued kingdoms, right? Wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions." Right now, every single one. Gideon was a ruler. Samson was a ruler.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jephthah was a ruler. David was a ruler. Samuel was a ruler. Right? These are all judges and rulers of Israel. But what about Barak? Right? Barak is the only one that doesn't fit because nowhere does it say that he was a judge or a ruler in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Subdued kingdoms. All the rest of these guys, they fit the prerequisite. So how come not Barak? Maybe, right, during the translation somewhere that Barak was really the judge during that particular time.
Right, and this is the
Right?
part that we, and that's the part that we're bringing out and everything. And if you do further research, you begin to see and understand. Okay, well, how did they get that mixed up? And so now the question is, where did they get Deborah from? How did that name even come up? You know, it's very interesting stuff when you really look deep into the weeds. Because
Because
here, yeah, Barak is mentioned. So does that mean that okay, Barak was really the judge instead of Deborah? Again, you know, it's kind of like still in the air. You know, there's just a lot of there's just too many coincidences. You know, too many facts that are at stake here. You know.
all right. So let's look it up, right? Let's look at the word Deborah, right? As we search the word Deborah in the scriptures, right, we see Rebecca's a nurse, right? We already know about her. But other than that, right, and we know that this Deborah, the wife of supposed Lapidoth, right, she's not the same nurse, right? So as we look to the scriptures, she mysteriously appears in Judges 4:4, right? We don't see how she dies, right? It doesn't say that she died or anything like that, right? And then all of a sudden we got right, we don't see that she died at all, right? We don't see that she died or anything like that or whatever was going on. As a matter of fact, we don't even see even the account of Barak dying. I
Exactly.
wonder, you know what I'm saying? I wonder what happened right there, right? It feels like, something is gone, right? Something is either missing or we have some kind of mistranslation going on somewhere,
Or something
but
that added, yeah. In Israel,
God.
if you hey look, if you got a history of Deborah when she died, if you have anything that shows her family tree within the scriptures, please put it in the comment.
But look at this, right? But mysteriously, right? Who does fit the prerequisite? Barak. We
Right.
see that he's the son of Obinawam. Right? We see this right here in Judges 5:12, right here on the screen. Right? Everybody, all the other judges, right? We know who their fathers are, right? Who their family is. But for some reason, right, we don't have any information on Deborah, right? And we don't have any information on that. And then the work that she was known for in the scripture, defeating Caesarea,
Yep.
who gets the credit for it, right?
Exactly.
As we see right here, who got the credit for it?
Now I know what some sisters would probably say. They'll probably say, well, there was maybe there was no men who was capable of leading in that time. No, that's a lie because Barak would have been the main one.
I mean, but not even that. We had Abimelech.
Yeah.
Abimelech was ruling at the time. Let's go to Judges chapter 9, right? Just to make just to prove that, right?
This is making your head think. I really pray this is really making you think, Israel. Making you scratch your head. It's like, okay, something is going on here.
What's going on with my mouse? My little roller is messed up. All right, boom, right. So even though Abimelech did evil in the sight of the Lord, right? We'll see that Abimelech Abimelech let me see what Abimelech ruled Israel. Right? Okay. Now, it doesn't even say how long he ruled Israel during this particular time, right? But right, it says when Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, right? Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, right? And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. Now, right? Who was Abimelech's son? Right? Who is Abimelech's son? Now, if Abimelech is ruling here, right? Who is Abimelech's son? Does anybody know? Abimelech's son, right, is Gideon, right? Gideon is Abimelech's son, all right? So if Abimelech is ruling right now, and then Gideon is the son of Abimelech, right? We got to ask ourselves, like, what time frame is really going on, or where either, you know what I'm saying, where they could have been a judge at that particular time, right? Far as, because we know that Barak is definitely in there for doing some type of great work, right? We see that for a fact that Barak is in there for doing a particular work, because guess what? We have precepts on him, right? We got precepts in Judges 4, right? And a parts of 5, and then we got him in Hebrews chapter 11, right? Y'all got to help me out, Israel. Y'all got to tell it, you know what I'm saying? Tell me if we're on to something, right? You know what I'm saying? Does this look a little fishy to you, right? How long did they rule? You know, say how long did you know saying was a ruler, you know, say how long did she rule Israel? Right? Let me see. Let me go up. Let me see. Go down. We're going to one of the heads, Abimelech, God really saw Abimelech was dead and departed into his place. Yeah, and when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed every man into his place. Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, and slaying his 70 brethren. Man, this was a wicked dude. And all the evil men of Shechem did God render upon their heads, and upon them that came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. Right. But after him, right, who takes up the mantle? Slocky, I don't know what's going on this thing today. Right. So boom, we got after Abimelech arose to defend Israel, Tola, the son of Pu, right? Oh, Slovakia. Yeah, okay. Tola, the son of Pu, right? The son of Pu, the son of Dodo, the man of Issachar, that dwelt in Shamar and Mount Ephraim, and he judged Israel 23 years and died and was buried in Shamar. Hold on, let me get Gideon. Slovakia, Israel. Gideon. I believe that's how to spell it. I can't remember these. I believe that's how to spell it. Israel, Slovakia. Oh, I'm gonna click on the wrong screen. All right. So Gideon, Numbers, Benjamin, Judges. Yeah, con. It's gonna say in a minute.
Now, when you look in Wikipedia, well, I mean, not. Hold on. Look. See, judging Israel, Deborah. Go to Judges 5:31 right quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you already go there already?
No. I go there. Hey, you can go there. Hey, do you mind going there on your screen?
Yeah.
While I look this up,
let me pull that up right quick. Judges 5.
Good looking.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. All right. And Gideon said that I will not only you shall rule over my son, the Lord shall rule over you.
Nope, that's not it. Son goes forth.
What was you getting to?
Yeah, man, this Google was giving false information because it gave us scripture, but it's saying 40 years in the on Google.
40 years for what? How long he ruled it?
No, as far as how long Deborah ruled.
Genesis 38, Deborah died when Jacob went to the land of Canaan. Oh, no. That's not the same Deborah, sis. That's the nurse.
Yeah, that's a nurse.
Right, that's not the same Deborah.
Yeah.
See,
let me show you something right quick. Let me pull up my screen right quick. I want everybody to see this. See, this is why you have to check and test
it. There we
everything.
go.
You see this, brother?
Yeah, I see it. Loud and clear.
The traditional Jewish currently places Deborah 40 years of judging Israel. Judges 5:31. When you go to Judges 5:31, there's nothing even close to that. From 11.
Until her death.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like how do they determine her death? Does anyone in the comment section have an idea of where her death is? Because I don't see her death in the scriptures at all, and we can go
And
through it and look.
when you get a chance, this reference right here, go to Judges 5:31.
Shit, let's go there now. See what they're talking about.
Go to Judges
5:31.
5:31. I want to y'all write that verse down. See, this is why we always test the spirits, Israel.
All right. So let thine enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love him be as the sun when he goeth forth in his might, and the land had rest 40 years.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the death of Deborah.
I can see how they could, but I can't see how they could come up with that to say that, that was the time frame. That had to be the time frame that that Barak had ruled. To be honest with you, it says so all the enemies in the land had rest for 40 years, but we don't see when she died.
Exactly.
Or he died. The mother Caesarea looked out of the window and cried through the lattice, "Why is the chariot so long in coming?" Oh yeah, that's right. That dude was dead by then. That old girl yeah, because see, I you know what too, right? Because there's another story that was tied into there with old girl. Remember, she had stabbed old boy when in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had the one. She was the one that prophesied that. You know what I'm saying? Her being a prophetess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if that her being a prophetess was actually you know I wonder that her being a prophetess has something to do with the mistranslation. You know what I mean? On like how it got to being around. You know what I'm saying? Like how them two got mixed up together.
Yeah. Or if she wasn't even a person at all, you know.
Con.
That's
Yeah, con.
that's the thing. It is a mystery.
I don't know, but let's continue on. Israel, if y'all got any input, right? Or if y'all see that we're missing something, please put something in the comment section.
Yeah, I haven't
Right,
seen that
because this
so
is
far.
just an open study.
Yep.
Right, brother Daniel and myself, this is how we just be pretty much going through the scriptures, and we'll see based off the top of our head what we had going on from before. Right, let's go to let me go to Judges Judges 10, and then let me go to Judges 12, I believe. Judges 10, right? And then Judges 12's got the other one on there.
Oh, you already addressed the daughter of Israel. Yeah, that was the nurse that was talking about. That was whose nurse? That was whose nurse was that? Or it was a nurse. Was it Rachel's nurse?
You talking about the let me
Or
see.
the one that
I think it's I think so. But let me look it up real quick. I can't remember off the top of my head. Salakia.
Yeah, that's definitely not the same Deborah. It's a different.
The one in Genesis, right?
Yep.
Rebecca's nurse. Rebecca's nurse. Yeah,
okay.
Khan. It was Rebecca's nurse.
That's a whole different Deborah. Yeah, different time frame.
All right, so Judges 10. After Abimelech there arose to defend Israel, Tola the son of Pul, the son of Dodo, the man of Issachar, and he dwelt in Shemar in Mount Ephraim, and he judged Israel 23 years, and he died and was buried. Shemar, right? Mm-hmm. So we got Abimelech, the son, right, to defend Tola, the son of Pul, right? So we know where he came from, right? After him rose Jar, a Gileadite, and he judged Israel in 22 years, and he had 30 sons. Oh, he was getting it in. He rode on 30 ass colts, and he had 30 cities. Dang, right? Man, right? And Jar died and was buried in Cammon, right? And the children again did evil in the sight of the Lord and served I don't even want to say them God names, right? And the gods of Syria, and the gods of Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, forsook the Lord and served them not. Man, our people are just wicked as hell, man. Man, we stay like some cheating hoes, on the Most High, always doing something crazy, man. I'm just amazed we ain't dead yet, man.
I know, man.
Stuff is just amazing. Let's go to Judges 12, man. See something.
You got Jar, and then you got what's his name? Jephthah.
Yeah, Khan. All right. Now we got pretty much here. Right. The rest of them. It says, and Jeff judged Israel 6 years. All right. We got that. And that was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. After him, Isban of Bethlehem judged Israel. He had 30 sons, $30, whom sent abroad and took in $30 from abroad and his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years and died. And then died Isban. Like all of these guys we can look up in the
I
scriptures,
know.
right?
Yep.
All of them, right? We can look up in Chronicles, right? And all of them we can look up, right? And then we can see their history and their family lineage, right? I'm just weirded out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about Deborah. It's just
Yeah,
a strange
Deborah is the only one that you cannot find history on. That leads me to believe that it was a made up character or added some kind of way in the translations.
Right.
Because if there's no valid argument to prove her existence, then that leads me to believe that it was a made up name or added translation in there somewhere.
That's my personal belief, Israel. I'm not I don't want to I'm not trying to heap my personal beliefs onto you guys, but that's why we wanted this open study.
Yep.
Right. So
That's
we could so we can show y'all how we came to this conclusion. Now, Israel, in the comment section, right? We got about 40 of you guys on here. If give me a 1 in the comment if you guys believe that Deborah, believe wholeheartedly that Deborah was a judge, right? And give me a 2 in the comment if you think there's some shaky ground here, that you're not sure about the translation, if it seems different than the rest of the if said that it seems as if it's different than what the rest of the scriptures preach. Let me see. Funny enough, Deborah is a secondary character in the verses she is included in. So her being the judge after all that Barak did makes no sense, especially when there were never any women rulers. Khan. Right? Khan. Right. 1, if you believe that she's a judge. 2, if you believe that it's shaky ground. Right. 2, if you see that it's shaky ground. I'm just curious on, because we always gotta refer back to the congregation. You know what I mean? Exactly. To see what you guys.
Because we want to make sure that you're following us and you're understanding and you're seeing what we're seeing. All right.
Because we're all in this together.
Yeah. And this is why we want you to see it. Again, if you believe wholeheartedly that she was a judge, but then put a 1. If you believe that there's something wrong, there's something going on, it's shaky, it's questionable, then put a 2. We want everybody to participate in this because we don't want no bystanders. All right.
Okay. A song number 1. Give me a reason why you why you think wholeheartedly, is there any other precepts or something that you know of that solidifies your belief that Deborah was a real character? If you don't mind, I would like for you to put something in the comment board.
Yeah, that's good. Anybody else as well too. Like if you believe that this is fact, you 100%. We want. Here's the thing: anytime you're making an argument, you have to provide some kind of evidence or proof. Okay, that something it's really facts. It's factual. Again, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses is my word established.
Right?
So far we have 3 2s and we have 1 1. But we would definitely love, especially for the ones that has a 1, we would definitely love to hear from you and see what your reasoning is. So maybe, maybe there's something that we're missing. Me and Brother Aton, we spent days, hours searching through the script. Actually, we spent years on this, to be honest with you, because this is something that we just haven't
ongoing.
For years. When I say years, I'm talking about like some 3+ years, Israel. But we just never brought it forth until now. All right, because we wanted to make sure that we turned over every stone, that we crossed all the I's and dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's.
Because that's like, I don't know, that just seems unless there's some lost books supporting her lineage. That they and Israel, this is just not really a lesson for as like a open study, I don't know, like if we have questions, about the scriptures and stuff like that, we should be able to come together as a congregation and we'll be able to discuss these things, in a light of intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, and this is a pretty good point. Psalm 77 brother says at this time, without digging into this deeper, but I will. I was looking at it that the Most High uses whomever He, and that's true to a certain extent. But when we look at when it comes to, so here's the thing: when we deal with the scriptures, we look at the consistency of the men that were used in war. Again, now if let's just say we found a couple of more women, or let's just say there was some consistency of women who were actually fighting in the war with the men. And if that was listed in scriptures, then the whole thing with Deborah would be more believable. But there's not even record of one woman serving in or fighting in war with. Matter of fact, you know what, man? Pull up that verse right quick where it's in Deuteronomy. Is it Deuteronomy? Is it Numbers? Where the pedigree of their fathers. Let me pull that up
Oh,
right
yeah.
quick.
All
You
right.
know that off heart?
I think so.
I think it's Numbers. Give me a second here.
Numbers 118 or something like that in it.
Yeah, pull that up right quick because I want to bring out a point in that. Okay, so it might be clear. So here it is right here. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. All right. Um, these were talking about the sons of Israel. Now, if you read through here, nowhere in the scriptures
You can go to
are
verse
you going
20.
to find where they were using women to fight for war.
And she had a husband,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? What if her told, you know what I'm saying? What if her husband told, you know what I'm saying? What if her husband told her no? I don't know, Israel. This seems weird. You know what I'm saying? Like she's over there, and a judge can even judge up to death.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that just doesn't seem that doesn't seem scriptural at all. When we have every judge that's ever been, every authority figure that we've had in the scriptures have been male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in the kingdom, right? Even in heaven, all the authority figures are male,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't understand why there would be a situation where a woman that was purchased for shekels on the dollar would be able to judge the whole kingdom of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
And that just makes you think, Israel. Now, again, we have the right to test the spirits. The Most High tells us to test. All right. And in the mouth of two or three witnesses, my word established. It's just there's really no record of the board. Where did she come from? So I think that a lot of times people would just take something and believe it wholeheartedly without investigating it, and just hey, it's in the scriptures. Well, so is Jesus. Jesus is in the scriptures, but we already know that that is not the true name of the Son of Yahweh.
God.
All right. We know that before, but then again, you have people who are like, okay, well, it's in this. Why is it in the scriptures then? You got to understand, Israel, man has been allowed to alter to a certain extent. That's why the Most High says that woe is unto him that added and take it away of my word. And when we were born on this earth in this generation and a few other the last 50, I would say no, the last probably 6 generations, we've been under this same word, the King James Version, unless you was born in the 1500s when a lot of stuff was added and changed, the translations and everything. So you got to make it make sense, Israel. That's what we're saying. Make it make sense. The Most High, the word, the Most High says He is not the author of confusion, and this is one confusing piece when it comes to the bar.
It just don't sit with my. And you said it just doesn't sit right with my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As far as what the rest of the scriptures say.
Yeah, and we went through the scriptures and showed you. So just to add on to it not sitting right with the spirit, we actually showed you the chronological of all the other judges, and when they ruled, their family ties and everything. When Abimelech was ruling, okay, and then we showed you in Hebrews where is Deborah? How come Deborah is not mentioned if she was the judge? Again, my personal belief after evaluating everything, I believe that the translators they added, made up a name, Deborah, or which I believe that Barak was technically supposed to be that judge. I don't know how they came up with that name though, Deborah. So So I like this answer. I like this answer too. He says, two, unless there are some lost books supporting her lineage. You know, I tried brother, I tried looking up some lost books and trying to compare. I'm serious. We were looking.
Me too. Yeah, Con.
We looked through all well, of course, the lost books that we can know of. You know, even the lost books that seem kind of shady.
Con. We got tons of them, right? We got. Let me see. Hold up. The books so far that we've looked through. I mean, like even the lost books, like Brother Daniel was saying.
Yeah.
The book of Adam and Eve, Reuben, Simon, the Testament of Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, the Testament of Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Joseph, Benjamin. We've looked through Nicodemus, the book of Nicodemus, the Gospel of James, the Gospel of Bartholomew, things of that nature, right? And these are just a few of the hidden books that we have, right? That so far, there. I mean, like we wouldn't even have any record in some of those for her, but I'm looking. I'm like, man, what is we don't even know what nation she's from, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another one,
And my first thought would Chronicles, because Chronicles is the book of history for our people. So you would think that would be the first place her name would be.
Book
of Chronicles, or the book of Numbers, maybe. But she doesn't appear in neither. She only appears in Judges. That's it.
Gone. Like we got like Gilead, Gileadite, right? You know what I'm saying? An ancestor of Manasseh, right? So we know that he's from the tribe of Manasseh. It just shows you who's who in a lot of the scriptures that we see. You know what I'm saying? It talks about, what their family was or who their dad is, this, that, and third, or where they're from or how long they ruled Israel,
Yeah. Again, Israel, waiting for some feedback. We want some challenges here. I know if there's any more ones, we would definitely like to hear. If you have a rebuttal, don't worry. We're not gonna, we're not gonna embarrass you or anything like that. We just, we're gonna challenge it though. We're gonna challenge it. I want to see what you all have. If there's anyone out there that has one, and if you have some valid facts, we don't care if it's from a book that you think that's a lost book. Put it in the comments so we can investigate it.
God,
anytime when it comes to investigating stuff, we'll sit there and we will literally sit there and investigate the hell out of this. Like I said, we've been doing this study for years, Israel, of Deborah. We just hadn't brought it out until now.
God, it just never set right with us. Like every time we think about it, because usually, man, the only reason too, I won't say not the only reason, but a lot of the times, right, we have a situation where we're fighting a lot of these Christians. We're going head to head with these Christian women. And whenever we discuss the proper order that the Most High has for the family unit, the nuclear family, right? Pops is disciplinary head of the household, while we have the mother doing the child raising and the child rearing, and while the father, he's going out, he's setting rules, and it's just a cohesive one big cohesive ball of success, right? You know what I'm saying? That a two-parent family home most of the time what they're what they can produce. And when I look at what these Christians teach now, they believe that what they will tell you is that Deborah's a leader. Deborah's a situation where I'm like, damn, that's the only thing that you can say. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking, I'm like, that's not, and I'm looking in the scriptures and I see there's like, I don't want to go out to the classics that, of course, you sisters, y'all know about, when the Most High say, oh, well, I suffer not a woman to teach, but to remain in silence, or, this, that, and the third. And it tells, we don't never see any women in leadership positions ever in the scriptures, especially leading, especially leading the men of any type.
You're not going to see any women in the the ministry of the tabernacle. All right, that was for the Levites only, the Levite men.
And
no one can show us one verse in the Torah where a sister or a woman was orchestrating in the ministry of the Levites. This is serious. And like I said, I'm going to revert to what Brother Aton read. His first scripture, was that the Most High does not change.
God.
He's always used. He always used men for kings. You had three. You had three ordained sets of people. You had the kings. You had your priests and your prophets.
God.
All right.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me because of the simple fact is just like even right down to the biological makeup of the man and the woman, right? We know that the man has an XY chromosome, so he's able to make both of the genders, right? The male and the female. But the woman, she only has XX gene, right? She doesn't have. It's literally impossible for her. She doesn't have not an ounce of masculinism of what is it called of masculinity in her. You know what I'm saying? Which I find weird. Is because they're acting masculine when they don't have not one single shred of DNA of masculine DNA in them, which will be the Y, right? Not one shred.
Makes you think, doesn't it, Israel? Really, really makes you think.
So
man, I was really hoping for a challenge, because I really want,
I'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to the bottom of this.
Again, Israel, we stay in these scriptures, Israel. We stay in these scriptures all the time. But again, we'll plead out to you again. If there's anyone that believes wholeheartedly that Deborah was you absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, you believe in your heart that she was a judge. Put a one and just put a reason why, so that we can really look at, because this is what it's about, right? It's about the word says the scripture says, study the word to show thyself approved unto Yahweh. A workmanship rightly dividing the word of truth.
Just like you, Israel, we got questions too, and so just like y'all come to us for questions, I think it's only fair that we we ask y'all some questions too, or come to and see if anybody has a different perspective, or what they see, right? Because it's okay to question, right? As long as we're not breaking the commandments, teaching against the Most High God or anything like that, right? Because we already see that the rules, the regulations, the commandments and the way that the Most High has got things set up, we see that, and we see the repeating pattern of everything that we have read so far in the scriptures. Whenever we have outliers, right, anomalies like Deborah and things of that nature, right, we have to read, so we have to read. We really have to break down these scriptures to make sure that things were manifested and they were translated right.
Israel, y'all got kind of quiet on us now. Like, what's going on? Y'all still with us? Y'all still with us, right? I hope y'all still with us.
Man, Israel, God, man, they're gonna rock with us to the kingdom come. We're gonna rock to the kingdom come, man. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it all together. We're gonna all be taken. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna be delivered together when that time comes. You know what I mean?
Praise to the Most High.
Remember, Israel, you don't want to be taken up. No more as it's taken. You still want to be here.
Look, soon as we get offline, man, I bet you the questions start pouring in.
Oh God.
Yeah, they're listening. I'm here. Okay.
God. Well, Israel,
we just want to make sure that everything is clear. One thing about me and Brother Aton is that we want to make sure we give you complete transparency. All right.
God.
Complete transparency. We ain't gonna leave nothing, no stone unturned. And we challenge anyone who feels like, hey, that they want to come in and provide some facts. Again, we've been saying this for years, but it's a possibility we might have missed something when it came to Deborah. So, but we studied like crazy.
We're probably going to come back too with some more like some so we're going to study the Hebrew / translations to some of these, like, because like sometimes like you read in a Hebrew word, like one particular word might mean a whole phrase, right? When they have to break it down in English. And so I think our next step for Brother Daniel and myself will probably start going through those particular sentences and breaking down the translations those whole phrases to see if we can't come out with a clearer understanding of what's going on here in Judges chapter 4, right? Because when we tried to when we was breaking down I was when I was breaking down like some of the earlier scriptures, right? When we were seeing like some of the stuff it says like far as like the new moon, right? Because a lot of people they come up with this weird ass new moon doctrines, things of that nature. But that's because that's strictly because of mistranslations in the scriptures, right? When we can show that in certain parts of Genesis is supposed to say first light of the moon, right? Not first first day of the month, right? Not first day of the month. It's supposed to be first light of the moon, which would in turn meaning that it would be a new moon, right? So we've shown like a parallel scriptures side by side of like the days, like during the flood, so during the flood time and when there was a new moon and when they had gotten into the ark, right? One scripture said first day of the month, right? And then the other scripture said first light of the moon, right? And then we saw that it was a new moon again. So we discovered that in those particular scriptures, the light and day, right? Those translations in Hebrews are similar, right? And month and moon is also similar. So it's easy for them to get mixed up, light of the moon versus day of the month. You see what I'm saying? It's just weird, but it's weird that that small little mishap in translation can mean such a big difference, right? In a different language.
That's right. And this, I want to show you something right quick. So this is the formula that me and Brother Aton always use when it comes to the scriptures. All right. So Isaiah 28, and I'll start with verse 9. It says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk." What is milk? When the baby is born, they're on milk for like the first year and everything until they're able to eat the meat and everything, and drawn away from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That is the formula that we always use and that you all should use. And that's the same formula that we used to study Deborah. Now, I like this. Master says, I'm over here in awe because of the different perspectives of this study. Because I don't think nobody's ever brought it out like we brought it out. Because again, we made sure, we wanted to make sure that we dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's, turn over every stone to make sense of this thing. And even up to this day, it does not add up. Again, with this whole thing with Deborah, it does not add up. Something was added.
I mean, with the
I'm not saying that. Now, I'm not saying that Deborah was not a real person. That's not what I'm saying. I believe that according to what we studied and everything, that I do not believe wholeheartedly. My heart is just from what we gathered that Deborah was not the judge. I believe it was Barak. Again,
maybe she was the priestess,
but that's based on what we studied.
Sluck, you're not priestess, but maybe she was the prophet. I'm not prophet, but prophetess. Slucky that had a vision in order to help with the battle. Maybe that was her part.
That's possible too.
You know what I'm saying? Because it just seems like that even though they put her in there, it seems like like the other brother was saying, like she's a secondary character even in the scriptures. So I feel that in some of the verses, right, they might have been translated in a way that that led us to believe that she was a judge, like she was a judge instead of Barak, which I believe that Barak was the judge during that time, right?
Yeah, because again, why was she not referenced in Hebrews 8 along with Barak? Barak was mentioned, and so if Barak was helping her along, I mean, if he was not the judge, then why was not Deborah mentioned in Hebrews chapter 11?
It was weird, and then we saw the inconsistency in the two in the two scriptures that were right there in Barak. One said in the beginning that it was going to be the victory or the win was going to be given to a woman, And then we read that a few verses later that the glory of the fight was given to Barak, right? Which was then also corroborated with Hebrews 11. You see what I'm saying? So that means that the very first scripture that we read saying that the victory, that the glory was going to be given to the woman was wrong. Something in there was mistranslated, because then we read in the other scripture how it said that the glory was given unto Barak, and we read in Hebrews 11 that the glory was given unto Barak. You see what I'm saying? So there's some kind of way there is a mistranslation somewhere dealing with this particular situation, right? Because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. You don't, I mean, like, you can't, no, I'm not throwing any shade. I'm just being 100% honest, right? You can't have a sister that you bought for 40 shekels that is labeled a possession in the scriptures, ruling over, not ruling over, but judging over Israel. Saying that, handing out death sentences. You're able to do it as a woman. That's not possible when the man is supposed to be over the woman at all aspects, right? The scriptures says what it is first, right? The Most High is the judge, right? He makes sure that Hamashiach stay, and the Hamashiach judges us. He's going to be there as the mediator, but at the end of the day, he's going to be like, well, I don't know this nigga, man. Get rid of him. You know what I'm saying, man? He wasn't doing what I was telling him to do, and he ain't obey. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be like helping enforce the judgment. Like he's going to be a lawyer on the squad, right? So we see that in order to pass judgment, there's only male, there's only male leadership at that particular time, right? In order to pass judgment, because why? We were getting the rulership ever since the beginning, where there has never been a time in the Most High that he's ever commanded a woman to take a rulership, right? It's just not natural.
All right, Israel. Wow. Looks like everybody, listen, from what we got, everybody is clear. Doesn't look like there's any confusion. I think you all, well, I would like to say that you all completely understood, especially when we gave you an ultimatum to put a choice in there, which you really believe. So, but I really pray that this was an eye opener, Israel, because trust me, years ago it was an eye opener for us as well.
God. So Israel, give me let me see. I think I can speak for people in here. Every time I come to this channel, y'all destroy something or learn in Christianity. Yeah, Christianity is we gotta watch out for Christianity, Israel, and all these other doctrines. They want to speak smooth things, right? Have you coming into doctrines? Well, things may seem like it's we're gonna get ready. That's not how the Most High works. You don't give everybody a chance. Nobody. It's the Most High's way, or you die. That's it.
It's a hard spell to break. Just like the famous thing that they like to say is "come as you are." You can't. No, that's not what you gotta get right, because Israel couldn't just walk after wandering 40 years in the wilderness. They couldn't just go into the promised land. The Most High had to clean them up. The same thing with us. The Most High is going to have to purge us. He's going to have to take us to the fire so that we can be ready when he does come gather us. That's just the way it works.
You know what? I tried I even tried that Tisdale Bible, that old, I'm talking about the very first Bible that they came out with in the 1500s. Before they came out with the with the 1611. I read the Tisdale Bible and I was reading that, but in the Old Testament, it went to Joshua. Hold up. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, and then Joshua, and then the book of Jonah, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is in his particular, the way that he had labeled it, actually the book of Jonah, it's not nothing that wasn't already in our scriptures. He just took the story of Jonah and then he made it into a book, right? All the scriptures are, all the scriptures are the same. He just turned it into a book. And I was hoping that maybe that I would have looked at his translation, even though it was deeply rooted in what was that? Vitalici, you know what I'm saying? Vitalici Italia. You know what I'm saying? I know his stuff was like deeply rooted in some of that, coming from the Greek era. And I just wanted to see what that translation, what he was, what he had, what it looked like, from the ancient scripts, right? You know what? I think I got an idea. You hear me? Let's
Yep.
get the Torah, the raw form, and then break it down and see what we can come up with out of that. I think that's what we're gonna do. Break it down word by word and then come back. But we're gonna start slow with the Hebrew alphabet and stuff like that, so the Hebrews can see how we come to our conclusions.
Yep. Definitely. And I have a 30-year-old interlingual Hebrew Greek Bible as well too that I use, and I also use that to study Deborah. But of course, it does mention her in there. But still, the translation still is in favor of more of Barak, which I think is very interesting. But again, we can find something that's really old or the original translations from the original Tumul writings and everything. I bet you the Boros more likely is probably not even mentioned. It would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Con. I'm definitely gonna look that up and see what's going on. Yeah, because I want to see that even if she is mentioned, I want to see in what aspect, what I'm saying, as far as like the translation is concerned. I bet you we'll be able to translate a different situation. You know what? I think we should have done that first too. That would have been real good to bring. So I guess like later on we're gonna do maybe a part 2 on this, and then we're gonna bring it straight from the Hebrew.
We can always come back.
We're gonna come back. Revisit this straight from the Hebrew, and then we're gonna I guess we can do it here live. And while we're on here, we can come up with the exact translation into the King's English, how it should be, how it should have been written. But like I said, this thing is weird, Israel. You can't. It's not that oh yeah, he's trying to come against women or women can't have no power or nothing like that. No, that's just the rules. That's just the way it is. Anytime I see something different than what the Most High has taught or what the Most High has showed us in the scriptures, Old Testament all the way through the New Testament, which is all really one testament.
And here's the thing: is we have no problem with if there's a woman truly in there, but it has to be some consistency.
Which there is none.
If you're going to pick one woman that led a battle and that's supposed to be a judge, then where's the consistency in that? Yeah, there is none. And there should have been other women.
Right? And that's gonna and that's gonna, saying, like that alone is going to upset the balance of the other nation, right? If all of a sudden you have one woman judge, man, what's to stop the next woman trying to be one? Oh, I want to lead too. I want to be a judge. Oh, I want to start putting wicked niggas to death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just seems weird. You know what I mean? She was a prophetess, but people came to her to judge. I don't think Gerard was taking a position as a judge because then they called for Barak to give him a prophecy. Well, the only reason why I believe that she was a judge is because if you go back, hit Judges chapter 4 real quick on the Sefer.
Judges chapter 4, yeah.
Con. Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I first read that, I was like, yeah, she's a prophetess. That's why I'm thinking that she may be a real person and have something to do with it. But my issue was
what verse you want?
Right there, man. That's good. You well, go back up.
Which verse fucking highlighted?
4.
Okay. Oh,
Con,
yeah.
right. Yeah, Con. 11 is that she dwelt under the tree, okay, right, of Israel, right, and came up for judgment. Oh no, Salakia. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was talking about. And Deborah, right, a prophetess, the woman of Lepidus, she judged Israel at that time, right? That right there is what's letting us know that she's being judged. You know what I'm saying? That she's the judge, right? But see, the weird thing about it is that I don't know. A woman of Lapidoth, Deborah, a priestess, a woman of Lapidoth. She judged Israel at the time. What if because you said Lapidoth means Barak, right? It's the same meaning as Barak.
It's light and torch.
Yeah, light and torch, right? Lapidoth. Lapidoth, Devon prophets. Something there, man. It's something in that sentence is off, and we're gonna break that down in the Hebrew, and then we're gonna come back, right? Because if we start doing that now, man, we're gonna be here for 50 hours because I got to start from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back again on this. We'll do a part 2. This is just to lay the foundation,
Con.
and so that
Yeah.
you all can kind of like start doing your own study as well too. And then we come back
Con.
with the real heavy stuff.
But like this is stuff that you should like be able to look at the scriptures and then you be like, man, this don't sit right with me for some reason. This doesn't fall in line with the rest of what I've learned in the truth, right? You know what I'm saying? The rest of the precepts, the rest of the lines that are written in the scriptures. This doesn't really hold consistent to the rest of that. Maybe let me investigate that some, right? Let me go precept for precept. Let me go line by line and see what's really going on here, right? And that's the type of spirit that you should have when you're reading these scriptures too. Make sure that you're not tricked, because even if this turns out to be something that's legit, which I highly doubt it is, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just for us to be able to point it out, right? The rest of the Hebrews, they should also be able to do the same thing. You should read something and then you should be like, I don't know if that's correct, man. Let me go to precept over here and see what this is talking about and see if the Most High is really, oh, wow, okay. So the Most High, and so the Most High really is down with, smashing babies against the wall. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Even if it might not sit right with you, you look and reread something like, what's going on here where we, we bashing babies against the wall. And then you read precepts for it. And you're like, okay, all right. So the Most High, he really doesn't give two craps about the heathen. You know why? It's because a baby heathen, they're going to grow up to be a adult heathen. Which means what? They're going to be still soaked in wickedness.
And this is what Nat Turner understood. This is why when Nat Turner rose up, he knew the scriptures. He knew the scriptures, and I guarantee you, he read that verse where they're going to smash those babies up against the stone and everything. Where everybody's like, "Oh, he killed the children," but Nat Turner completely understood what he had to do in order to try to free his people. But apparently, majority of the slaves wasn't ready at the time because they were still so. Stockholm syndrome was such a heavy thing back then, but had all of them would have just turned and be like, hell, I'm like, what would have took over them? The Israelites would have took over the South. All them white folks. We would have had, boy, it definitely would have been a gap, boy, if that would have happened. Yeah.
Well, we ain't ready to obey yet, though.
That's the thing. You said the key word, brother, obey. And a lot of those slaves, they did not willing to obey. Could have. They could have. The scripture says that, Most High Yahweh is my battle staff. With him, I will tear down nations. With thee, I will do all these things. But Nat Turner was a beast, boy. They still talk about it. Hey, you mentioned Nat Turner to a heathen, boy. They start shaking in their boots.
We ain't nowhere near that, man. No. We might as well go ahead, read the scripture. We're talking about the Most High said we waxing old in the land of our oppressors. We don't even know what the hell going on. Waxing old in the land of our oppressors. That's horrible.
Three of my favorites. It was Nat Turner, Gasper Yanga, and what's that dude's name? Levant Overture. Overture. That brother up in Haiti, boy.
Busting them wigs.
They were hanging them French by the necks, boy. Matter of fact, Israel, I don't know if y'all noticed or not. The reason why they had to sell the what you call the Louisiana Purchase was because those Haitians was kicking asses so bad when Israel was kicking asses so bad that they had to sell the Louisiana Purchase.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I find it odd that Deborah was only a judge and there were never any other female judges, nor among the prophetess were there any of them usurping authority from the man, so her part in the Torah is odd. It is odd, right?
Again,
worth investigation.
Yep.
It's definitely worth investigation.
This is how we search the scriptures. Well, Israel, I don't have anything else to add to this, brother, unless you got something.
No, man, I don't have anything, brother. I could yap on all night. You know what I mean? Well,
sometimes. Right, we'll come back again tomorrow, sunset sometime. Open up the Feast of Trumpets. So you go on and feast with us.
That's right.
That being said, Israel, we're going to bid you a holy Shabbat Shalom.
Stay strong, Israel.